Heyo! Welcome to the $100 MBA Show. Guaranteed not to waste your time with our daily 10-minute business lessons for the real world. I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. And today you will learn how to work while sick. Sometimes we have to get to work, get the work done we need for our business, even when sometimes we're under the weather. We often don't expect to get sick, it just happens, and we have to get things done regardless. In today's episode, I'm going to share some strategies and some tips on how to work while sick. It should be a healthy dose of great information. All right, guys, let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA Show is sponsored by Rerun. Rerun is for any small business, organization, or association wanting to automate their reoccurring subscription or membership billing. No monthly fees, pay only for what you process at a low, flat rate. Visit rerunapp.com/podcast for a 30-day free trial. That's rerunapp.com/podcast. Ideally, if you get sick, whatever it is, a cold, a flu, a stomach virus, you should take a break, right? You shouldn't be working. If you can afford the time off, if you could just take the time off and everything is going to be fine in your business, you really should take full time to recover. That's the fastest way to get rid of whatever you have because you're resting. But if that's not an option, if you have to get things done, if for some reason you have to be present, you have to be doing some work, you have to churn out some sort of content, and you don't have that buffer in place, this is what this lesson's all about. But let's learn the lesson to have that buffer in place when we need to take the time off to rest when we are under the weather. So let's talk about some strategies. Now, this is a very timely episode for both me and Nicole because we're just getting over a pretty serious cold. It was pretty nasty, and she got it first and I got it, and it was really taking us out of our game. And if you listen to the last Q&A weekends, you can hear my voice a little bit congested. I'm still kind of getting over it, but I'm functional today. And I thought to myself, let me do this episode because it's helpful to know when you're sick, how can you manage your work and your time to get things done, but at the same time, honor the fact that you are not 100% and that you need to recover and you need to rest. All right, tip number one is you have to triage. Triage is the term they use in the ER, in the emergency room at hospitals. They have to prioritize the seriousness of certain issues. So if somebody comes in with a sore stomach, they're not going to be treated immediately as if somebody's arm's cut off, right? That's something serious. That person needs attention immediately. So they triage these patients as they come in. They make sure that we take care of the most serious, the most immediate issues first, and then we'll get to the other ones, but just not immediately. So you have to do the same thing with the tasks at hand when it comes to your work. If there's something that you can put off to the week after, if there's something that you can work on or push off, there's no public deadline, you should do that. But if you have certain things that are immediate, like a production schedule, like for example, if you have to produce a new podcast episode every week or a blog post, make sure you stick to those deadlines and just focus on the things that are most important, most urgent. So you may want to take some time with your cup of tea. I've been drinking a lot of lemon and ginger and honey for a while now. So sit down and triage. Sit down and look at your tasks for the next few days and plan out maybe 5 days or so of maybe just doing the priorities. Another tip that I really think you should do is notify people automatically via an autoresponder on your email. So when people send you an email, let them know that you're going to be a little bit delayed on replying to them. So they know, hey, listen, I'm a little bit under the weather or I'm away or whatever it is that the reason why you can't get to it. But in this case, you're sick. So you might want to just say, hey, I'm not feeling very well and I'm recovering, so I will be a little bit slow with replying to your email. Email is one of those things that could take a lot of time, and you want to make sure that you have the pressure off so you don't feel like you have to spend so much time replying to people. Again, with email, you're going to have to triage and see what's the immediate thing. You know, if somebody's coming out and saying, hey, I want to be a sponsor of your podcast, you may want to pay attention to that because that's part of your business. Or if you have a customer that's asking a question about one of your products or services, you got to serve that customer if you're the one that does that, or you can, delegate that to somebody who's on your team. But if it's an email from an organization that's inviting you to an event that's going to happen a few months from now, you don't really need to reply and tell them that you're committing to it or not. you don't even have to read those emails. Mark them, star them, flag them, whatever you're using, Gmail or any other mail client, and get back to it when you can. The third tip I want to give you when it comes to working while sick is your workday. Try to minimize your workday as much as possible. If you normally work from, let's say, 8 in the morning to 6 p.m., try to see if you can cut it down to maybe 8 to 2. Those 4 hours can really help you rest up and get better quickly. Remember, the sooner you get better, the faster you can get back to doing more work and be 100%. So if you can end your day a little early, take a nap, rest up, stay in bed, that can really speed up the process and make you feel better and have those symptoms of sickness wane off, and you'll start feeling better quicker. In that regard, try to take frequent and longer breaks. So say, for example, you're working 8 to 2, work solid for 90 minutes and then take a 20 or 30-minute break. And then just go through another cycle like that. Another 90 minutes of hardcore work and then another 20 or 30-minute break. Take an extended lunch, take your time, and just recognize the fact that you are not 100%. I need to just slow things down and just do the bare minimum to make sure that I get the work done that's important, but at the same time, I don't stress my body out. The next tip is take a look at the tasks you have to do and how many of these tasks you can do in a relaxed state, meaning maybe in a nice, comfortable chair, maybe even in bed if you're that sick, and it's best for you to just be in a comfortable state. I use a standing desk, so when I was sick, it was very hard for me to be standing the whole time. I was so sick, I was so tired, I had to take a different work position, so keep that in mind. Maybe you just need to be sitting on the couch with your feet up while you're banging away on the laptop, or maybe it needs to be in bed. You make that call, but try to be in a little bit of a place that recognizes the fact that you need to rest. You need to kind of just relax your body as much as possible. What you're trying to do here is that you're just trying to sneak the work in. You really should be resting full time, but what you're doing here is you're doing the bare minimum of work in a position that is restful without straining yourself too much. Guys, I got a few more major tips when it comes to working while sick, but before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, Igloo. Having an internet for your business can be extremely useful. And Igloo is an intranet you'll actually like. It's a cloud platform that can help you do your best work. You can share files, do blog updates, coordinate calendars, and manage projects. It's easy to use and easy to configure, even for the most non-technical of users. And it's built using responsive design, which means it can work on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, anywhere you go. Whether you're a large enterprise stuck using SharePoint or a fast-growing business overwhelmed with apps, you should create an intranet that matches your brand, look and feel, and simplifies how you work. That's Igloo. Plus, it's accessible from your phone, so sign up now and try it for free at igloosoftware.com/MBA. That's Igloo, IGLOO, software.com/MBA. Now I'm going to put on my doctor's coat, that white lab coat, because I'm going to give you some really good advice when it comes to staying healthy so you don't get sick, and also how to recover when you are sick quickly so you can get back to business. I mentioned this before in a previous episode when I talked about conferences, but there is a really great vitamin that's all natural that helps your immune system stay above water, that helps you have a strong immune system to fight these types of infections. And it's called the Wellness Formula. It's by Source Naturals, and I'll put a link in today's show notes. You can check that out at 100mba.net/MBA193. Now, I started taking Wellness Formula a little bit over 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, and I used to never take vitamins, to take anything, actually. And I really didn't believe that any of that stuff really made an effect on you, just because I never tried it. But then one time when I was in the vitamin shop, they told me, hey, you should try out Wellness Formula. It's great for recovering from a cold or a flu. And I started taking it, and I got sick once, which was what I just got sick recently, in over 2.5 years. So it really does work. It really helps, especially when you're fatigued and your immune system's down. Now, Wellness is not a sponsor of the show. They're not giving me a dime for saying this. This is just my own experience. So you should pick up a bottle of Wellness Formula. It really helps get your immune system where it should be on a regular basis. The other tip is really, really be mindful about how much water you take in. You really should be drinking a lot of water. One of the pro tips I got from Grant Baldwin, one of our previous guest teachers, who's a major public speaker, is to drink a lot of water. He does a lot of traveling. He traveled to over 70 different cities in the last year. And his tip is always drink water, especially when you are actually sick, when you're trying to recover. Drink as much fluids as you can. Of course, that doesn't mean, drinking Coke or something. Drink water, drink some, herbal teas. I was doing that lemon ginger, fresh ginger and lemon. with some, boiling hot water and some honey, and that really helps. But having the fluids in your system and having them flush out as much as possible is great. And obviously drinking a lot of water when you're not sick really helps you stay healthy. They say 8 cups of water, obviously spread them out. And of course, we talk about this all the time on the $100 MBA show. Your body is so important. If you're in tip-top shape, your business will be in tip-top shape. So exercise, regular exercise is so important, guys. Make sure you make time for any form of exercise, even if it's just a 20-minute walk. Take a walk around your neighborhood, go for a jog. Anything simple on a consistent basis does make a difference. All right, I'm going to take off my lab coat off. I'm not the doctor anymore, but I just wanted to give you those tips because I know they work. And I know how it feels to be ill when you have to get things done. You just want to get over the sickness and be able to get back to business. All right, guys, I hope that helped. And thank you guys for all your help, for all your support, listening to the $100 MBA show, leaving us ratings and reviews on iTunes. We really appreciate everything you guys do to make our show such a hit. Here's a review from A Busy, innovative and approachable, 5 stars. This is an innovative and cutting-edge podcast on entrepreneurship and the free/cheap education movement. Omar's approachable and an encouraging educator. He equips his listeners with the tools and the belief to know that starting a business is not merely the stuff of dreams, but an actionable plan. His 10-minute bite-sized business lessons are fun and fit easily in a busy day. Hey-o! This podcast is awesome. Thank you so much for that review.